back at it again. Hi guys, Nasejo, in case you don't know, and I practice astrology, I practice tarot, as well as other esoteric practices, and I'm all about you using esoteric practices to help you consciously engage with your day-to-day life. So one of the big phenomena, especially within today's age, is Mercury Retrograde, and I'm going to talk about it, right? Specifically Mercury Retrograde in the sign of Taurus, right? That will be happening around the 20th of April. However, really having a bigger perspective about the way you view the planets and the way the planets interact with each other is very important for you to really understand what this cycle of Mercury retrograde is teaching you. Okay, so I got my notes. You see me looking down? It's because I'm looking at my notes. Right, so important days, right? 7th of April, and that is because Mercury starts its preshadow within Taurus at 5 degrees. So you noticing where 5 degrees of Taurus is going to help you a lot. 15 degrees as well, because that is the degree that Taurus will be going retrograde in on the 20th of April, right? And then 15th of May is when Mercury will be going direct in the sign of Taurus, and then after that we have the postshadow, where we'll kind of be just resolving, ticking through what Mercury taught us and kind of trying to get back into the groove of things, right? So why is Mercury important, right? Mercury is about communication, it's about learning, it's about writing, it's about little gadgets such as our phones, laptops, and big gadgets such as our cars, right? So for a planet that is so small, it really impacts us, and I think that's why Mercury retrograde is such a big phenomena. If you're hearing background noise, sorry about that. That is why I think Mercury retrograde is such a big phenomena, right? And when Mercury is retrograde, it's all about us reviewing, reevaluating our processes, our communication processes, our thinking processes, checking if there's any issues with our gadgets. Does anything need to be taken to the shop? Probably not during the retrograde period, but issues that pop up or conversations that pop up, because I feel like the little things we ignore in our day-to-day, right, have a lot of clues, especially when it comes to something, for an example, like Mercury, right? So what I found very important within this Mercury retrograde cycle is the fact that Venus is going into Gemini from the 11th of April, right? So a key topic, right, that Mercury retrograde is about. I'm gonna just check it, give me like 2 seconds. So reevaluating simple communication, the way you are simply engaging with other people, right? And the idea, what I think is interesting is this idea of being stuck came up, right? Especially feeling stuck where we are. I felt like that's what came up because Taurus is it's a fixed sign, so we immediately like fixed, stubborn, but it's just because Taurus is very comfortable, and when it comes to how we are engaging within our lives, engaging with the way that we communicate, we may find ourselves in a very comfortable position. But the fact that the planet that is ruling Mercury during this time is in Gemini, it's showing that there is an influx of new ideas and changes that we can try to integrate in order to become better. Because at the end of the day, right, if we are comfortable, how are we really becoming better if we're just becoming better at being comfortable? Where is the growth in that? Where is the growth? Right. And I just see, so the post shadow of Mercury retrograde. Post shadow of Mercury retrograde is going to end on the 22nd of May. Pretty sure I didn't mention that, right? Now, a transit that like came up quite a few times is that Mercury is going to be sextile Mars, especially on the 8th and the 24th of April. Now, what I feel like that speaks to is that we do want the change, you know, but sometimes, like I'm saying, we're so mentally comfortable, like we don't really want to change, that it may be hard to see it. And Mercury being sextile Mars within the sign of Cancer is showing that, you know what, there is a bit of assistance, there is a bit of guidance, looking to really where you need to start taking action, right? It may not look the way you think it's supposed to look, because Mars is in Cancer, so it's not the norm, it's not what we're normally used to, and Taurus energy may find a struggle with that, right? So I feel like I've kind of encompassed Mercury retrograde, but I did have a few questions that I feel like you can ask yourself, and I'm going to ask myself as well, about this Mercury retrograde. And it's about, where do you feel stuck? So this will probably pertain to where 5 degrees to 15 degrees of Taurus lies within your natal chart. So is it your 10th house of career and reputation? Is it your 7th house of relationships and partnerships? Is it your, did I say 7th or 2nd? Sorry, 7th house of relationships and partnerships, 2nd house of resources, right? So the questions of, where do you feel stuck? And are you stuck because you're familiar and comfortable? Why? Right? Do you yearn for change, but you kind of like see it in a distance? Like, I see change, but I don't know if I'm ready to chase it. I don't know if I'm ready to go for it. I don't know if I'm in that place yet, right? And then the last question. What steps can you start to take to engage with change? You know, sometimes it is just about changing our mental perspective, and I really feel like that's what Mercury retrograde teaches us, is that sometimes it just starts in the mind. A lot of things start in the mind, and because we're thinking about it, it's able to kind of manifest. So our efforts towards that, what efforts are we putting towards that, especially with the new ideas that will be coming up during this time, right? Okay, so I think I've covered everything, right? And how is Mercury retrograde for you? I always find it very interesting to see how Mercury retrograde pops up for people. You know, there's a lot of kind of warnings about Mercury retrograde. I know usually these online meetings, not being surprised if, like, you know, they're not going well, signing contracts, being very aware about what you're signing. Do you understand what you're signing? Any issues with technology and apps as well, being very aware, right? And not like taking the updates of the apps, you know, giving them a bit of time to work through their gadgets, because they still need to be worked on, and it's not 100 during this time, and that's okay. You know, at the end of the day, these retrogrades, any planet retrograde, especially the inner planets, are about teaching us how we can take a pause and change, because we can. We're not always going to be engaging with our environment in the same way. Taurus energy Taurus energy struggles with that, and that's okay. And I'm not hating on Tauruses. I'm a Taurus. So I understand, you know. Anyways, yeah, I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, if you have any insights about Mercury retrograde, love to hear it.